So, Spies in Disguise stars Will Smith and Tom Holland, and it's about a spy played by Will Smith. He is the best spy in the world. He's so good that everyone knows his name, which already doesn't make sense, but whatever. And, he likes working by himself. He has this tech guy played by Tom Holland, and Tom Holland makes all these weird gadgets for him. And when Will Smith's character, he is accused of something he didn't do, he must, go on the run. He asks Tom Holland for help, and during this whole thing, he accidentally turns himself into a pigeon. And now he must save the world along with Tom Holland, and, well, he's a pigeon, essentially. Yeah, that's the plot of Spies in Disguise. So going to this movie, didn't really have any expectations. It's like, it just looks like a typical kids movie, like a very generic kids movie overall. And it just didn't really excite me. Like, I heard this was pushed back several times, which is not really a good sign. But overall, Spies in Disguise, I would say it's okay. It's watchable. It's just not really that great of a movie. There are a few good things here. Will Smith and Tom Holland are really good. They really embody their characters really well. They're both very funny in their own ways. They work really well together as a team as well. And the way they're designed are really interesting as well. Like, yeah, this is Will Smith's best animated movie. Yeah, Shark Tale doesn't count. Also, the animation overall, it's pretty decent. Like, not as great as some other animated movies this year, but it's passable, I would say. And, like, also the action is really fun sometimes. The gadgets are really cool, too. Like, they aren't as cool when you see them at first. It's like, oh, okay, that doesn't really sound too interesting, I guess. But then, like, when you see them in action, it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. That's kind of fun. Definitely interesting. Also, like, I will say this, the first act of this movie is not really that bad, but it's not really that good, but it's just very generic, and so is the last act. The second half, though, it's pretty funny. There are a lot of jokes in this movie that are really funny overall. Like, I was kind of laughing in my seats during this movie, surprisingly. For the most part, like, most of the jokes in the second act do work, but there are some that are not that good. Like, at one point, Tom Holland and Will Smith, they have to jump at one point, and they miss, and Will Smith is, like, blurred out at one point, implied that he's saying a curse word. And I'm like, really? In a kid's movie? Come on. But it's not the most shocking thing in this movie. Like, there's one moment in the movie where a bad guy, he's turned into basically just mass. He has no bones. He's because of a weapon by Tom Holland, and he's just this giant blob. And you do see his ass at one point. And I'm like, this is a kids movie. This is PG, right? Because I feel like this is not suitable for kids. This is not suitable for me either. And that was a little uncomfortable. They kind of get some good gags out of the second act, but there are some where it's like, okay, you're pushing it. You're really pushing it. Like, not only just a big pile of fat and the random cursing. There are some funny moments, like Will Smith and Tom Holland. They each have funny moments, and there are some funny gags from the other main stars as well. But that leads into the cons. There are a lot of other people in this movie besides Smith and Holland. There's also Rashida Jones, Karen Gillan, Reba McEntire, Rachel Brosnahan, DJ Khaled, who doesn't say his name in this movie, thank God. Masayoka, Ben Mendelsohn, who plays another generic villain in this movie. He's a very generic villain with not really not even a hint of a backstory, just bad guy. He's just bad for reasons. And, like, this is like the third movie where he's played a generic bad guy that I've seen. He was in Rogue One where he played a generic bad guy. He was in Ready Player One where he played a generic bad guy. And here he is in Spies in Disguise, and this might be the most generic villain of the three. So, didn't like that. Also didn't really like any of the new supporting characters in this movie, unfortunately. They really don't have much to do. They have character tropes, but they don't have actual characters, I would say. There's really nothing to anyone. It's like, oh, hey, we got all these people in this movie, let's use them. And it doesn't really work that way for me. So, like it's like, oh, cool, we got Rachel Brosnahan from Marvelous Mrs. Maisel in this movie. She only appears in the first 5 minutes of this movie, not even. Oh, well. Reba McEntire occasionally appears. Like, they don't really do anything. But then again, this is mostly Will Smith and Tom Holland's movie. They make this movie work overall. The jokes the jokes are really good. Will Smith and Tom Holland are good. Animation's fine. Action's fine. The humor's okay for the most part. It's not like the worst family movie you could see, but you could also do a little better overall. Overall, I'll give Spies in Disguise a 2.5 out of 4 stars. Stream it. So, what is your favorite spy movie? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat, and take care.